Hello, dear friends. I'm Carly Wharton. Welcome back to my porch. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are talking about practicing unconditional love. Unconditional love is something that's very easy to say and talk about. In this video, I want to lean into the practical side of what does it actually mean and how do we actually do it, like on a day-to-day basis? How do we integrate unconditional love into our daily life, into our moment by moment self, such that we are able to offer it at any time, in any place, under any conditions, is the whole definition of unconditional love, is being able to love no matter what. And I would, offer my pair of pennies worth as far as how I look at unconditional love. I think it means that no matter what happens, your offering, your response is one of love, pure and simple, because you are a lover and you love to offer love more than anything else. You love love, and therefore you choose love no matter what. And the no matter what part leads us into, let's just break these two pieces down into unconditional and love. So the no matter what part, the unconditional part, conditions, like what are we talking about with conditions? Let's do some examples. So let's say your romantic partner cheats on you. They've hurt you. Do you still love them? And keep in mind, loving someone and wanting to continue a relationship with them are two completely different things. You can want to end a relationship with someone and continue loving them from afar. That's totally possible. Another example, someone does something bad to somebody else, like someone murders someone else, someone rapes someone else. Are you able to love the person, the murderer, the rapist? Like, to say no, that's a condition. I can't love you because you did XYZ. That's the same as any other condition when we're talking about unconditional love. Does that mean I want people to be doing those things? Not at all. Does that mean that I feel anything other than love for them as a soul, even if they did something completely heinous that I don't condone whatsoever, that I would never choose for my own life, my own behavior, my own self-conduction? I can disagree with their life choices and I can still love the soul that's inside that vehicle. That's unconditional love, like loving things that are basically unlovable by definition. Can you still conjure love for that object? And when you can love anything under any conditions, at any time, anywhere, I would argue that you've mastered unconditional love. And my practice with this is like one by one, leaning into wanting to love unconditionally, I'm forced to come face to face with this condition that I'm holding. And I get to evaluate that condition that says, I can only love you if you be like this. Like I'm trying to check this box before I'm going to be able to love you. I'm going to need you to show up and perform. And okay, you've performed, check. Now I'm offering love. Now I'm offering support. Now I'm there for you. That's conditional love. So the other side of this love, like what is love? So I think that's a word that gets tossed around so often. And I probably didn't learn what it meant until my late 20s. And I don't know if some people ever learn what it means, because we've all heard the phrase looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love in the wrong place is an inherent misunderstanding of what love really is. It's not something that we receive from anyone else. It's something that we flow. It's something that we offer. It's a state of being that we tune ourselves into. That's love. It's a vibration, and we tune ourselves to the vibration that we want to feel. So it's not anything that we can ever find outside of ourselves. It's something that we become from the inside. And when we are it on the inside, when we are love on the inside, we shine love to other people. And that creates this loop of unconditional love. Because when we are loving, we are very lovable. When your vibration is loving, when you are loving yourself and life and everyone loves you. And when you hate your life, most people don't like you. Most people don't want to be around you. And I'm speaking from personal experience as having been on both sides of this coin. When I didn't like myself, when I was depressed and just overall not happy with how my life was going and where I had gotten to in my life, I was very dissatisfied. And people generally didn't like me, like my work reviews, like your tone, your attitude, like your like they're telling me face to my face that like, hey, you have a bad vibe that you're giving off. And at the time I was just like, you're not gonna tell me, blah blah. But they were totally right that like, yeah, my feelings on the inside felt rotten. And I'm not surprised that you don't want to be around me because if now I understand what's going on the inside is making its way to the outside for other people to feel. You know, we make our ripple effects whether we're wanting to or not. And now I understand that. And I took my focus off of everything external that I had been attached to and I pointed that focus inside of myself to say, I want to be happy. I want to take a shortcut from where I am right now to happiness. I don't need a single other person to help me get there. I don't need a single condition to come into place for me to tune in to the vibration of happiness, the vibration of love. That's an inside job, and I understand that now. So, my favorite idea around love that I've ever heard is you cannot offer love to another person more than you are able to offer love to yourself. And this goes back to what does love really mean? Because a lot of us go through the motions, but is your vibe giving off a stank, like a rotten odor while you're doing the loving actions? Or are the loving actions filled with a vibration of love? Are you feeling it on the inside? Are you glowing with it from the inside out? That's love. Going through the motions and resenting the person on the inside, that's not love. That's going through the motions and sending out the bad vibes, and then those things don't work and you're like, I'm loving them and they won't love me, and it's like, but you're really not loving them. And this again is me reflecting on every relationship I've ever had where I was blaming it on the other person that they're not loving me. And what it was like, i I didn't love me, and if I didn't love me, I couldn't receive their love either. And in by extension, I couldn't be loving them either. You know, like it was an inside job where I wasn't in the loop on love. And so I was missing it in my relationships and blaming it on the relationships. So that was like the first few decades before I figured out love happens inside of us. So that leads me to kind of my main takeaway with practicing unconditional love is it starts with our relationship with ourselves. So, how much do we offer unconditional love to ourselves? And the better we are at unconditionally loving ourselves, the better we will be at offering that same unconditional love to others, like people in our romantic relationships, our children, our parents, our friends, whoever it is in your life that you're wanting to build a more loving relationship with. If you want more love in your life, go inside and cultivate that love for yourself. Offer unconditional love to yourself. So, like, what does that look like on a practical side? It looks like making a mistake and telling yourself, well, I guess that's how that was supposed to be. You know, I was supposed to do that and I did learn from it. And so I know now that XYZ. And so yeah, that was a good experience because I got to learn and moving on with my day. That's unconditional love. That's loving yourself through letting yourself down or disappointing yourself or making a mistake, like missing your expectation. You know, we expect ourselves to be perfect or better than last time or whatever. Well, what happens when you show up and you give your best and you're not better than last time. And, it still isn't quote unquote good enough. Like, are we beating ourselves up in that moment, or are we talking to ourselves like we would to someone else, offering that unconditional love, telling ourselves that it's okay because you showed up and you did everything that you could. And you're only human. That's all you can ever do is offer your best. And we did that. We showed up and we did our best, and that's all that I can ever ask of you. So great job. Like, by my definition of success, showing up and doing the thing, you were successful. So there is no more such thing as not good enough. There are learning opportunities, there are opportunities to take notes and improve for future instances. There's always room for improvement, obviously, but we don't have to beat up on ourselves while we're on our way to the next improvement, because if you're anything like me, there's always another improvement and then another one and then another one. So that's never ending. So waiting until you get to improvement, that's just another condition that stands in the way of true love, which is coming from inside of ourselves, wrapping ourselves in that unconditional love for ourselves, so that we're so full of it that we can't help but shine it out to the whole world around us. And they feel it. They feel it whether you know them, whether they say something to you, they can feel it. Aura to aura communication is real. So just by filling yourself full of love and being in the world, you are making positive ripple effects that is making this planet a higher vibration place to live. So on behalf of a resident of this planet, I thank you for investing any time and energy and focus into building your unconditional love practice. If you have found this content helpful, I invite you to like this video, comment on it, subscribe to my channel so that you're notified of all of my daily videos. And until next time, dear friends, you take good care of yourselves, and so will I.